So this is probably our most outward-facing dimension of safety. We have a Department of Safety, Security, and Risk Management. We do a lot of extensive monitoring of what's going on in our schools, both with physical eyes and with cameras. If this presentation lacks any specificity, it's because we don't want the quote-unquote bad guys to know all of our tricks, but we do have a pretty robust safety program, and a lot of it is preventative, and that really is a large part of our focus. We do have practices and drills and protocols and emergency plans to help our kids exit buildings in the event of an emergency. There are regulations surrounding fire drills, lockdown drills, bomb drills, and all of the sort, including tornado drills, because there are a number of tornadoes in Virginia every year. But it's important to note that that's more than just the drills and the protocols that we take into consideration. We do pretty robust background checks of employees and visitors who volunteer in our school space. We are increasingly more interested in our physical infrastructure and our physical space and how our school buildings might become physically more safe. This is a particular challenge that the board discussed earlier this evening in your work session, talking about capital improvements. We have a number of buildings that are aging, and they're not showing their age particularly well. And in addition to not meeting our space requirements, which sometimes elevates to the top of the list of concerns, our real concern is how might we keep our students in the most safe learning environment as possible. We have robust threat assessment protocols that we lean on. And as the board knows, our student code of conduct has come into laser focus this year as we try to establish or reestablish positive norms for student behaviors. And that's actually a major theme in the video that was sent home to parents and students. But this is particularly important. Our partnerships with law enforcement are also of importance to us. I will say that we do not have a school resource officer in every one of our schools. And that's a problem in terms of the resource that person provides. I'm not saying that it's always necessary to have a sheriff's deputy in every school, but in our secondary schools, it is a little bit of an abnormality in Virginia to not have a school resource officer in every secondary school. We have several schools that share. But we are very grateful for our partnership and coordination with our sheriff's department. They do a tremendous job in working with us. They have great lines of communication with us. And we also have additional security personnel in our secondary schools. But this is a challenge should we find ourselves in an adverse position. It is something that we have to look at moving forward. Which brings us to our learning environment in general, and something that we are very focused on in terms of creating a balance. We want our kids to come into a school that is really bright and welcoming and have a workforce that is really excited to be in support of children in our schools. But it's a little tough when everything around every corner is in narrow windows or locked down space or cinder block walls and locked doors, but we do need to be mindful and balance that safety requirement. So, for example, the ideal environment for us, and you can experience this, any community member coming into Stafford schools, is that you're going to come in through the front door of a school that's a double entrance. That double entrance exists for the safety of the people inside that school, but hopefully after you go through the second door and you enter the main office, you're surrounded by love and support and smiling faces in our front office, and our staff is there to greet you in a welcoming space. But we need to be mindful of keeping our school and its perimeter free from those that would wish to do harm inside of our school space. One of the ways that we can help keep our schools safe is having a really engaging and exciting learning environment where relationships are built between teachers, staff, and students, as well as parents, so that everyone feels comfortable to say something when they see something that doesn't sit right with them. That really has led to more successful support of dangerous situations than anything else, is positive relationships between staff, students, and parents. And when those three groups are working together to keep schools safe, good things tend to happen. Another big focus of ours this year, and something that you'll see consistently applied throughout the district, is how we set clear expectations for behavior and how we follow through with those expectations for behavior. This is going to be a major focus of ours this year, and something that we've honed in on as a priority. Coming out of the pandemic, we were leaning more towards the caution of supporting our kids from a different lens. And one of the ways that we know we can continue to support our kids is to set some expectations for them and hold them to those expectations and help support them to meet those expectations. The social and emotional development of our kids is critically important, because that is ultimately what our goal is to graduate kids who are prepared for life after high school, but that are also the good neighbors that we want to have that live next door to us.